You don't just have to buy at an auction. You also can buy before the auction starts, and you can also buy after. So how does that work? Well, when I'm going around viewing properties that I want to see and potentially want to add into my portfolio, if there are a lot of people also visiting the same house, I'm beginning to think, well, there might be quite a lot of competition, let's see how we do. If there's not many, it might be that there's an opportunity for a deal before we even go. But either way, if this is one of my top 3 properties, as I described before, then I tend to put in an offer based on roughly around the guide price, sometimes a bit below if there's nobody been around, but there is absolutely no harm in offering before. If the auction house have had loads of people coming to visit, they will automatically suggest to the vendor that potentially there could be a lot of people bidding, therefore they have the time to wait to the actual auction itself and see where the price goes. If they've only had me turn up and I make an offer, then the auction house might be turning around to the vendor and saying, do you know what? She was the only one that came, she's interested, she's made an offer, maybe you should consider this. Now, if your offer is accepted, you are under auction conditions. So the deposit still needs to be paid, the fee for the auction house needs to be paid, and you will still be under the standard 28 days. So again, line your ducks up before you go, make sure you have that decision in principle or the cash that you can move forward. So you then have the auction itself and all the good stuff that happens around there, great fun, but there is a percentage difference between the guide price and the reserve price. And the reserve price is where the person actually has the minimum price that they are prepared to sell for. Therefore, if it doesn't reach that, the property goes unsold. So if you're in the room at the time, what you can do is walk over to the sales desks and tell them that your offer is still standing, you want that put forward to the vendor. You can do that on that day, you can do it the day after. I wouldn't leave it too long because somebody else will do it, but you can go and still make an offer. Now, if you have a property that hasn't sold at auction, but somebody's still interested, the reasons why you wanted to sell it are still there. So therefore, why wouldn't you accept a sensible offer after? Now, obviously, if they were looking for 200 grand, it got to 190, and they were looking for just over 200. If you go in and offer 100, they're going to blow you out of the water. But if you go in and offer even the 190 or the 185 that it got to, if nobody else is going forward to the desks, you never know, you might be in with a chance. And if it was worth it first time round, why would it not be offering after? So all those properties that go unsold, there will be people walking up to those desks and going, right, I would like this. This was my top bid. That's where I'm prepared to go. Can you put that forward to the vendor? If the vendor says yes, you are still under 28 days condition. But just because the hammer's gone down doesn't mean to say it isn't still available. The last auction that we went to, of the 110 plus properties that were up for auction, over 40 had been sold before. So do you think other people are using this as their strategy? And do you think you could too? So whether you buy before, during or after auction, do your due diligence, know your numbers, have the finance lined up for whatever you choose to do, but just because it's at auction doesn't mean say you can't offer before or offer after if it goes unsold. If you want it in your portfolio, there's more than one way to get it.